the super absorbent PVA mop. It's item number V36847, super absorbent PVA mop and bucket, because you do get the bucket. It has a QVC price of $28.85, which is a great value. But here we are today on clearance. This is where to pick up the good deals, guys. $22.42. $5.50 brings it home. And if you do easy pay, it's under $5. It's $4.48. And it's worth every dime. And I'll show you why. Now, it's called the PVA mop because it uses a special sponge called polyvinyl alcohol. I like to call it powerful vacuum action. What you need to know is that this is not a regular sponge. Now, I've been demonstrating mops my whole life, over 25 years. And if you want a powerhouse mop, I mean, a lot of mops do a great job, but if you want a powerhouse mop that really does a deep cleaning, lasts a long time, and is great for pets, pet owners, if you looking for something to pick up pet hair, by far one of the best mops I've ever used for that. And it's because of this special mop head. It's not like an ordinary sponge. In fact, when it gets dry, it actually gets rock hard, so it doesn't smell and get all yucky on you like a lot of other mop heads do. But when you wet it, it becomes very, very soft, very, very absorbent. And even though this is a little bit curved because it's dry and hard, it will straighten out perfectly straight, so you can put it right onto your mop head, and it works phenomenal. And by the way, guys, you get 2 of these mop heads. Just this real metal handle with the mop head alone, in my opinion, is worth its weight in gold. But you also get the extra mop head. And if you need extra ones, you can get them on QVC.com. And you also get the bucket. Now, we have 2 colors left. I don't know if the camera can see over here, but we have the beautiful teal, which has been very, very popular. And then we have the red. And notice I have the extra mop head on top because you do get both of them. So teal and red is all we have left. They work the same way. And we're going to show you some really great demos. Now, I have some soda over here. I'm going to put some soda on this vinyl floor. I picked the light color vinyl floor so you could see the contrast pretty good. Here's a little bit of soft drink. This is going to be an amazing demo, worth staying up for. Here's a little bit of spices. I put like sugar, salt, spices. This way, you know, like in the kitchen, you might drop spices. And I'm going to put a little bit of soy sauce to make it hard. Now, this is a bad enough spill as it is. I'll step in this to swirl it around. And even to make it worse, I got dirt from my backyard. And I'm going to step in this mess. Maybe the dog bring in some dog prints or the kids brought in. This is a terrible, terrible mess. How would you clean this up? Well, take a look at my mop head before I begin. These little ridges work like little windshield wipers. As you move it across the floor, it lifts, holds, and traps. But look at the before, look at the after, and you'll notice the PVA loves to hold on to the dirt. It doesn't drip it out until you wet it and it wrings out. So when you bring it over to your bucket, and you don't have to use the bucket, guys. A lot of people like to use this in their sink. You push it to the side, you hear that click, you flick, you pull down on that 5-roller wringer, and you got yourself a mop head ready to go to the next job. Now, I cannot leave this mess like this. PVA will sweep, it mops, it dries, and it cleans all at the same time. If this was a really bad mess and you had to get a broom because it was like very like chunky stuff, don't forget, this is a mop. And it still picks up stuff like that. So again, you bring it over to your sink, you bring it over to your bucket, that's included. You give it a little dunk, flick, and then you wring it out. And this way, all the dirt stays in the bucket or in the sink and not on your floor. Now, if you want to use it on hard surfaces, what's nice about this is it doesn't drip. Now, this is actually wet. I let it hover around the floor. I put powder and some pet hair on here. Right away, you could see how it's holding on to that pet hair. I told you guys, if you have pets, phenomenal mop head. Watch as I put it into the water without even wringing it out. It sucks up the water. It becomes so saturated that it wants the water, and it releases the dirt. The dirt's in the bucket, not on your mop head. Now, to wring it out, I just want the camera to back up a little bit so I take a shot. You push it to the side like that. See that? It clicks. You give it a little flick. Then you pull down on here. Very easy to do. There's 5 rollers in that little box that squeeze out the dirt debris, the grime. Again, I don't have to touch, I don't have to bend, and everything stays in that bucket. Now, some people say, okay, how about tile? Fantastic on tile. I put a little bit of burnt on gravy here. Now, just to show you, this is actually sticking to this because it's so sticky. And if I rub really hard, you could see starting to come off and break my tissue because it's really sticky on there. But with the power of PVA, because we do sell microfibers, they're fantastic, but this is PVA. Look how it cuts right through that grease and grime, and grease and grime here right into that grout line. It's impervious to grease, it's impervious to oil, it holds, it traps that dirt, it got it right in that grout line, and until you saturate it in water, it sucks in the water. There's millions of tiny little pockets that hold on to the water. I push down on my wringer, and all the dirt stays right into that bucket again. Another great feature about this mop is that this wringer actually doubles as a stand. So if you don't have a lot of room, you could virtually store it anywhere. Now look how that just picks up that liquid on that hardwood floor. If you have any kind of spills, it holds and traps that liquid. It polishes and buffs the floor at the same time. Doesn't matter if it's linoleum, vinyl, hardwood floors, and it gets right underneath kitchen cabinets or behind furniture. Now look again, you see there's a bunch of hair on there, but when it gets saturated, it releases the dirt and you're left with a nice clean mop head. Now this is what we call our magic finger. It really does a nice job getting along the baseboards. Don't cry over spilt milk, they say, right? There it is on tile. And like I said, you could pretty much store this virtually anywhere. Now the mop heads are removable. You can take them off. They're gonna last you a long time. You get 2 of them. And you just pop them on like that. You just push it to the side. You have to make sure they're nice and wet, and you're ready to go. Now, once again, we have 2 colors left to pick from. If you look over here, we have this beautiful teal color, and then we have the red. They both come with an extra mop head and the bucket, and they can be used on any kind of floor. Next up, we have Shannon. And Shannon, how are you? Nice to see you. What do you have for us today?
Hi, I'm Sharon Henry Roby, and I'm here with my own rug from Home by SHR. So this is number H226480,